the other way, are you denying that waterboarding was in part among the tactics used to extract the intelligence that led to this successful mission?
No, I think some of the detainees clearly were, they used these enhanced interrogation techniques against some of these detainees. But I'm also saying that, the debate about whether we would have gotten the same information through other approaches, I think is always going to be an open question.
So, finer point, one final time, enhanced interrogation techniques, which has always been kind of a handy euphemism in these post-9/11 years, that includes waterboarding.
That's correct.
All right, there you go. That was Leon Panetta. Joining us now, Richard Perle, fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, former chairman of the Pentagon Defense Policy Board, and former Assistant Secretary of Defense. Richard, welcome back, sir.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Well, thank you. Okay. We just had John Yoo on not too long ago, and he said in answer to this claim by the report that none of the enhanced interrogations led to any actionable intelligence, that certainly none that they couldn't have gotten in another way. And John Yoo said, yeah, we would have gotten Osama bin Laden if we didn't use enhanced interrogations in 10 or 20 years from now.
Well, of course, what I think has been reasonably well documented is that some of the information that was crucial in locating Osama bin Laden was in fact achieved through enhanced interrogation. John McLaughlin has written a piece that appears today in the Washington Post in which he makes that very clear and very plain. So you have to understand how pictures are put together, how dots are connected, in order to appreciate that a fragment of information, the name of a courier in this case, can be the key to deciphering the whole complex set of facts that lead you ultimately to an intelligence conclusion. And the idea that no actionable intelligence was achieved through this program is complete nonsense.
Absolutely. Do you have any regrets? If you had a do-over, would you like to, looking back, see changes, or based on the circumstances at the time and what we had to deal with and what was in place, which was not much at the time, are you proud of what it accomplished and how it was operated?
I'm not going to defend every aspect of a program, which, like any government program, like any human activity, is bound to have shortcomings and failures and oversights and, in some cases, irresponsible elements. You have to look at the program as a whole. And one of the things that's quite striking in this report, which is tendentious and argumentative, it's a prosecutorial brief, is that after all these thousands of pages, they're talking about a very small number of instances. Thousands of people were detained for one period of time or another in conjunction with the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. And what this came down to was a handful. So even if you take the position that it was wrong, or that it could have been done differently, the magnitude of the problem is small in relation to the overall activity. This is a 6,000-page report. It's 10 times the length of the 9/11 Commission report itself. It's not a serious effort.
Yep. No,
nobody in Washington writes a 6,000-page report that they want to be read. They produce 6,000-page reports for other reasons.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And why do you think, with witnesses available to them, they chose only to go through documents, emails, etc., and draw their own conclusions based on that information?
They were building a case. When you are writing a polemic, and I believe this is a polemic, you don't necessarily want to see evidence that contradicts your thesis. So you don't ask for it. If you think you might get an answer from someone who was involved in the program, who you're questioning about what he did and when and why, you may choose not to ask him because you'd rather not know what he has to say. And I think it's clear that the intention from the beginning, and this report was written by staffers on the Senate Intelligence Committee, and support for the report in the committee divided 100% on partisan lines. The staffers who wrote this knew what they were going to conclude before they began the process, and they didn't want to learn anything that would undermine their case.
Yeah. Richard Perle, very insightful. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate your time.
All the best. Bye.
Thank you. All right, folks. And again, it speaks volumes that every CIA director, from the beginning of that program on till now, including John Brennan, who spoke today, has defended it. It's interesting watching CNN's headline. First, they say that Brennan blasted this and blasted that, and at other times they say Perle defends the enhanced interrogation program. So whichever angle they decide to take, they're taking. All right, we'll be back with award-winning mystery novelist and political commentator Andrew Klavan. But first, let's take a look back at President Ronald Reagan's TV address announcing his Strategic Defense Initiative, SDI, to, of course, you know what that was about. It was countering Soviet attacks or potential Soviet attacks. And that's going to be this hour's American Moment. Don't go away.
I call upon the scientific community in our country, those who gave us nuclear weapons, to turn their great talents now to the cause of mankind and world peace.
On March 23, 1983, President Reagan surprised not only the nation, but members of his own cabinet and military by announcing an Oval Office address that the United States would embark on creating an anti-missile system to stop and destroy nuclear-tipped missiles in space. Reagan called the program the Strategic Defense Initiative, or SDI, while his critics quickly dubbed the program Star Wars. Still, the idea gained popular support and played a key role in undermining the Soviet Union and its arms buildup. By 1987, with his own nation facing economic collapse and unable to match the U.S. program, Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev capitulated and signed the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty. Within 4 years, the Soviet Empire itself would collapse, ending a Cold War that lasted more than 4 decades. You're watching An American Moment on Newsmax TV.